Hey guys, it's Arcade and I'm back with another tutorial, and in this one I'm gonna turn Frederic Chopin into lo-fi beat. So I'm gonna take his track, let me just check what it's called. It's the Nocturne, I don't even know how you pronounce it. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna play it, that way you will also know which track I mean. This is the track that I'm gonna take and I'm gonna turn it into lo-fi beat, lo-fi hip-hop beat, and I'm sure you will recognize it, this one. It seems pretty complicated. So yeah, that's the track by Frederic Chopin, and I'm gonna take this melody and turn it into lo-fi hip-hop beat. Of course, we're gonna do some changes because this one is in a different time signature, so I'm gonna kind of adjust it and make this nice, chill lo-fi beat. And also I want to mention that this video is sponsored by BabyAudio, who gave me their new plugin called Super VHS, and this is pretty much the plugin made for people who create lo-fi beats, and I'm gonna talk more about it later, but here is how it looks. It can do a few different things and you can use it on different sounds. So it has this heat knob, which is like saturation and distortion. This is best used for the drums, I'm gonna show you that later. Then it has this wash knob, which is basically reverb, but it's a really different type of reverb. And then this drift knob, which is my favorite, it kind of changes the pitch of the instrument slightly. Like it has this LFO that automates the pitch, and it really creates this nice vintage effect. It has some really cool features, so I can't wait to use it in the song. First thing first, let's actually transform this melody so we can use it in our song. So it's already a chill melody, so that's not a problem. As I said before, the time signature is a little bit different, so we gotta adjust it. Anyways, I'm gonna be using flex for the sound, I think, just so we stay within FL Studio as much as we can, so more people can follow the tutorial. I actually have a sound that I want to use, and this one is free, so everyone who has flex should have this, and it's a really cool, really nice lo-fi sound, and here's how it sounds. So yeah, I have multiple versions of this MIDI track, and I think I'm gonna use this one because it's the most basic one, and I really just want the essence of the original song. So let's just delete the time signature here and turn this into something different. This one is also like half the BPM, so let's crank it up to 140. So lo-fi should be around 70 or 75, maybe 80, like slower tempo, but when you do 140, it's pretty much the same as 70, but you just have to put all the notes like half the length. If you don't understand, if I put a kick here and a snare here, and it's at 140, it's the same as if I have it at 70 and put a kick here and snare here. It's the same BPM, essentially. So yeah, we're just gonna work with 140 for now, and let's just change this. So I'm gonna go with chords here instead of this. So let's just do straight up chords. So I'm just taking the notes that are already there and turning it into chords. Let me just play this with a metronome. See, it's like off because it has this different time signature. So I'm gonna try to make it normal time signature.
2,000 years later.
Okay, I think that's pretty good. We can make some edits to it later, but this is pretty much my version of Chopin's composition. Of course, it's not as complex or whatever. I guess it gets the feel right and it's still recognizable as the melody from his piece. So yeah, that's what we're gonna work with. So now that we have the composition, let's actually apply some effects on it already. And I'm gonna show you what is this Super VHS all about, because it's pretty exciting. So let's try it out first on our chords. So let's actually use that right now for the chords. So this is without that. Then of course you have the static, which just gives you the static noise, which is useful for lo-fi. You always hear that static in the background. And then the shape is basically like bit crusher or some sort of distortion, and you can choose from a few different shapes that will transform your drums into really lo-fi drums. I'm gonna show you that as well. So yeah, let's use the drift function first. So if you wanna really hear the difference like in an extreme way, I can just crank it up. And even more if I move it. Yeah, but that's really not what I am looking for, but just about, I mean, it can be all the way up, maybe like right here. So yeah, here's the difference one more time. This is without it. And this is with it. It sounds almost like this out of tune piano, but I really love that, and it's especially cool for lo-fi beats. So yeah, that's gonna be the effect there. And let's also use the wash function. If you go all the way up, it sounds like really crazy, I don't know, like from a horror movie. And it's so roomy, but it's a super interesting reverb. I just want it right about there. And then you can press the magic button, which is kind of like a chorus, I guess, they said. Let's hear it. So yeah, this already sounds like in an old movie, like a scene where someone is playing the piano, and it's really old piano, I don't know. I just love that effect. And without it, it's like this. Like pretty much a regular piano. You can add some static. We don't want to mess with the shape. We can try, but it's not good for the pianos or chords. I mean, the heat is pretty good. If we crank it up too much, yeah, that's not what we want. Okay, so that's our melody, the chords. Let's actually lower the high frequencies maybe a little bit. Okay, let's leave it at that. Let's actually make the drums now. And I got some pro tips for drums. So let's just use some drums, I don't know. Let's go to Kashmir's pack as usual. I mean, most people have this one, so I like to use it. And I still think it's my favorite pack. And I like the chest kicks. And let's actually make the drum beat in the playlist. And I'm gonna show you a little trick that I really like to use. So let's put some cymbals in. And here's my pro tip. I really like when some of the sounds are a bit out of beat. I saw many people do that, and it makes your whole beat kind of more groovy. So let's try that. So yeah, as you can see, the snare is not right on the beat, nor is the kick right here or the hi-hat, and you can just move them slightly to the left or to the right. Just go with what feels right, and in the end you should have something like this, and I feel like it's a bit more groovy than if it was just straight on the beat. Yeah, that's pretty good. And maybe the snare we will change, but first, let's actually put all the drums in the mixer and let's route them to the same channel. So it's gonna be routed to channel 8. This is the kick, routed to channel 8. This is the hi-hat and the snare. I'm gonna route that to channel 8. What this means is the kick can be edited separately and the hi-hat and the snare can be edited separately, but you can also edit them together at the same time if you want to. So this is the channel 8 is where I'm gonna put my Super VHS plugin, and I'm gonna show you what it can do with drums. So these are a little bit lo-fi drums, but not quite. Like the snare is a bit too harsh for it. But let's see what we can do with some effects. So I'm gonna turn the heat up, of course, and then I'm gonna change the shape, which is gonna kind of crash the drums, and they're gonna be more lo-fi like. I think I like this position the most. Or this one. So yeah, without it, it's like clean drums. Sure, they sound nice, but for lo-fi, we want more that muddy, crashed drums. So with it, maybe some wash. That actually sounds pretty epic, but it wouldn't really work in the drop. Maybe we can use that as an effect before the drop. Maybe I can still change the snare. Not sure about this one. It's a bit too long. So let's see if we can get a better snare. Tight snare? Yeah, maybe that one. Other people also use like the sticks or whatever it's called. Yeah. The rim, I guess, could be used instead of the snare or with the snare as well. Yeah, I like that. I kind of want to put reverb on the hi-hats, so let's actually do that. Let's just put the normal reverb. Okay, let's hear how it sounds with the piano. Okay, maybe we even put this shape. Yeah, I think that works better when it's in the mix. So let's maybe add one more hi-hat or something. Actually, to make this more interesting, let's sometimes layer the hi-hat with another hi-hat. That way we have this a little bit of a variation in the hi-hats. Because I feel right now they are a bit too static. So this way they should be a bit more interesting. And I actually would kind of like some reverb on the snare. So let's actually use the reverb from the Super VHS, just because it's so different. Maybe some crashes? I'm not sure. Just maybe some white noise impacts instead, because that's more chill. Okay, let's go for a bass now. I'm gonna use Flex just so we stick to FL Studio plugins other than the Super VHS, which by the way you can get right now, link below in the description. You can also try it out for free, and if you are interested in making lo-fi, I would definitely recommend this plugin, but also is good for other styles. You can see what it can do. It has a pretty big effect while being really simple to use, which is pretty much my favorite type of plugin. So yeah, you will definitely see me using this plugin in the future videos. Okay, let's see if we can get a bass here. We need something really soft. Basic sine. Maybe. Okay, these go really low. Okay, these are some weird chords, of course, because it's Chopin. It's not like your everyday chord progression.
2 hours later.
Okay, I like this. Let's see. This has a bit more higher frequencies, so maybe more people can hear it. We can probably do some mixing. So the kick is at number 6, the bass will be at number 10, and I'm looking to sidechain it. So click on the kick, right click on this little icon below the bass, click sidechain to this track, click on the bass, go to the limiter we put in there, change it to compressor, change sidechain to 1, and move threshold and ratio. And I think I want the same effect for the piano as well. Let me just sidechain it to that track. Limiter, compressor, sidechain, threshold, ratio. And I think the decking effect. So sidechaining essentially means every time the kick hits, the other sound's volume gets lowered. So do we want that? Let's hear it. Anyways, guys, and this is pretty much it. Our little twist on Frederic Chopin. Let me do a little bit of arrangement and then I'm gonna show you the whole track. And that is pretty much it. Let me know what you think. I think we did pretty well and I'm really loving this plugin. Make sure to check it out. Link will be below in the description. You heard what it can do. I was pretty excited to get it, so hopefully you are as well. Other than that, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.